to another episode of Financial Freeway. My name is David Jatwood. I am the man rocking the Ray-Bans, and today I'm leaving the office a tiny bit early. I'll give you the quick and skinny on this one. I had some tenants move out, and they had left some damage to the carpet, so I had to have the carpet replaced. And I hired a company to replace the carpet, and it ended up being that it was complete debacle. Like, it was absolute chaos with this company. And there was little things that happened along the way. Actually, not little things, big things that happened along the way. And they ended up actually costing me money and time. And so when everything was said and done, because of the mistakes that this company made, I went back to them and I said, hey, I think what we need to do is readjust the price a little bit with regards to the everything, how everything went down. And at first I thought they were going to be, kind of aggressively defending what they did. And when I was dealing with the installer, he actually was being kind of aggressive with his inability to be accountable for the situation. He kept saying, it's not my fault I got sick, it's not my fault I can't hire people, it's not my fault that the people who cut the carpet didn't label it properly. It was bang, 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 all these different issues. Well, the issues actually ended up costing me money because my tenants wanted to be reimbursed for the time that they were without a carpet, because they were without a carpet for quite some time. And so I went to the company that did this, and I said, hey, here's the situation. Because I've done everything on my end of the contract, as was told, but because of things and failings on your side with regards to the agreement, places where you dropped the ball. And again, they were like, I should say this, I was very polite and persistent and pleasant to deal with regards to talking to them about this the whole time. Not once. I may have lost my temper with the installer a few times because his demeanor was less than amenable. But when I was dealing with the company itself, I was pleasant, and I just said, listen, here's the situation. There was definitely some costs involved here and some issues that happened on your end of the side of things, not on my side, because me and my tenants did everything we were told to do, and the install was delayed many weeks because of failings on the opposite side. And I said, I think that some remuneration is in order. I think a little bit of a refund, a little bit of a price adjustment is in order because of this. I was expecting a very, very big fight, but it ended up being they ended up agreeing with me. And so I'm right now on my way to pick up the, it's not the whole, it's a refund that's substantial enough for me to go grab it. But I am on my way to deal with that. And I think what I've learned on this is yelling and getting emotional very rarely does it ever help a situation. I find in my experience, most of my life, being pleasant and polite and persistent has always won. There's times when, and I said in this book, my Conversations with Keegan, there are times when you do have to get emotional and you do have to raise your voice, and you have to, express yourself with intent in order to get your point across. Sometimes it could be because there's a situation that requires, it could be a dangerous situation where someone's doing something silly, or you need a reaction quick, like I explained before, like as a coach on a football field. There's no time to be, explaining things in detail. It's do what I say, do it now. We can always readjust afterwards in those rare circumstances when you have to be aggressive. But for the most part in my life, I have found my modus operandi has always been pleasant, persistent, polite. It saves relationships. It saves bad feelings. It saves anything. It saves everything from going to poop when you get through a situation. Because nothing's worse than saying something that you don't mean in the heat of the moment, and then regretting it afterwards, and then trying to come back and say, well, the reason I did that was because I was so upset or I was so emotional. It shows a lack of discipline and a lack of control. And if you're in a leadership position, like say as a landlord or a parent or a boss, you're in those leadership roles. This diminishes your ability to garner respect from the people that you need to respect you. So I say this, and I say it all the time, and it works really well for me. Stay calm, stay pleasant and persistent. And also, another thing too is gratitude. Like when I was dealing with a company and the carpets finally did get installed, I was like, I am very grateful that the carpets are installed. I'm very happy. And I just called them up and said, look, I just want to say, I want to let you know right away the carpets are installed, and I am extremely happy that we have this done. I didn't hear any complaints from my tenants, so I'm assuming that everything is good. So these are little things I find that makes life easier for the people I work with, because whoever you're working with, like I'm working with a company right now, and there's a good chance I'll be working with them again in the future. So why ruin that relationship by being emotional and letting things get the better of me, thinking that I'm going to win this battle? I want to win the war, and that means keeping these relationships and strengthening them. Same with the tenants. If the tenants are being, aggressive, or employees are being aggressive, there's no reason that you can't be polite. Rules are rules. Things have to be done. Things have to be said and move forward. But there's no reason to lose your cool. Even if they do start poking you and getting personal and insulting and whatever, by maintaining your composure, you are maintaining an air of dignity, and you will. That's deserving of respect. And that's also a huge leadership skill, is being able to keep that discipline and that focus and that composure. So no matter what happens, even if it's a negative thing, even if someone's coming at you and saying, hey, you've got some, we got to tell you, look, you screwed up, you ran a stop sign and we're going to give you a ticket for it, or you were speeding, whatever the case is, always approach it on the side of, I'm going to be more pleasant and polite than the person that I'm dealing with, no matter what. Because it always puts you in a higher, better optics. You're always going to look a little bit in a higher status if you are keeping your cool than if you are losing it and screaming, it's not my fault, how dare you, I know my rights, all that stuff. Don't do that. It's always, like I say, it's always worked for me, and I strongly recommend that anyone listening, make it a discipline. Make it something that you can pride yourself in. Try it with little things, like if the dog makes a mess on the floor, don't get mad at the dog. Don't start screaming at the dog, because, and this is where I started learning this behavior, was because if you come in and scream at the dog, say you've gone out for an hour and you come back and the dog relieves himself on your carpet, the dog doesn't connect the two. He doesn't connect the two, and all he is confused and stressed out, and now he's just afraid of you. Whereas if and it's the same thing. What I've done is, when I did that, I learned that freaking out didn't make the mess clean up, didn't make the dog love me more, didn't stop messes from happening again in the future. It just stressed everybody out. So I learned from that, you know what? Clean up the mess, pet the dog, go for a walk, and take accountability, saying, what was your part in this? And this is what I used to do. My part is, I shouldn't have left the dog alone for as long as I did. I should have made sure he was walked before I left. There are reasons, even if you think that it's not your fault. Dog taking a crap on your carpet isn't your fault, but there is room for you to look and go, what could I have done to avoid this situation? And when you do stuff like that, you do find that you are going to start going, okay, calm, because yelling is not going to help. It's not going to make anything better. Approach it calmly, pleasantly, politely, and persistently. And I swear to God, it has saved my bacon more times than not. Whew. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for watching. And I'd like to thank my new viewer, Rick. Thank you so much for being a part and checking us out. I really appreciate you, Rick, so much. And thanks for stopping by and watching what we got going on here. If you like what you see, thumbs up. If you don't, throw some comments on. Let's talk about it. Make sure you subscribe if you can. It's always good. It's good for me. It really is. Doesn't really do much for you, but man, does it do a lot for me. If you get a chance, check out financialfreeway23.ca. That's our website. Me and Seth put that together over a year ago now, and that's where all the really great information is. That's where we've got the commuter MBA program, which I'm very excited about. And also I've put together a kind of a bit of a breakdown of some investment strategies. Again, not financial advice. Make sure you talk to your financial advisor, your financial professional, to get that advice. Don't take that from a guy on YouTube. And last but not least, I say spread the good word. Let people understand that everyone in this world has the inalienable right to live a life of success and abundance. Wherever you are in this gorgeous fall afternoon, I want to wish you the very best.